Did you know that cooking is a uniquely human activity? While other species have been known to use tools, it's only us humans who have mastered the art of transforming our food with heat. It all started with the taming of fire and ice, allowing our ancestors to cook and store food, sparking a revolution of technological advances and innovations. Archaeological evidence for cooking traces back to about 1 million years ago, but it's believed that the practice could have started as far back as 2 million years ago. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution, and the way we prepare our meals was transformed forever. Food could be mass-produced, mass-marketed, and standardized. This evolution of cooking has not only shaped our societies and cultures, but also our individual lives and daily routines. So, next time you're cooking up a storm, remember, it's a uniquely human activity that's been around for millions of years. But did you know that kitchens have a dark side too? That's right, these culinary playgrounds are not always the haven of joy and deliciousness we perceive them to be. Throughout history, the act of cooking has brought with it a multitude of dangers, from indoor cooking fires to accidental burns and cuts. Smoke, mainly from indoor cooking fires, claims approximately 1.5 million lives annually in the developing world. In the past, women, the traditional hearthkeepers, were particularly vulnerable, their flowing skirts and long sleeves posing a significant risk around open flames. And in the modern era, even our beloved barbecue isn't innocent, with grilling food potentially increasing cancer risks. Charred meat, it turns out, can damage our DNA and initiate harmful genetic mutations. So, while we relish the delights that come out of our kitchens, it's vital to remember the risks involved. So, always remember, safety first when you're in the kitchen. Ever wonder about the chef's hat and why it's so tall or has so many pleats? Well, let's take a culinary journey back in time. The chef's hat, also known as a toque, has a rich and flavorful history. Its color, white, was adopted because the chef of the first Prime Minister of France believed white to be the most hygienic of all colors. Now, onto its unique design. The pleats in a chef's hat were not only for fashion or professionalism, but they traditionally represented the number of recipes a chef had mastered. A chef with 100 pleats might have known 100 different ways to boil an egg. The height of the hat also had significance. The taller the hat, the more knowledgeable the chef was considered to be. And here's a fun tidbit. During the Byzantine invasion in 146 BC, Greek chefs disguised themselves as monks, donning large stovetop hats to blend in. So a chef's hat is more than just a fashion statement, it's a badge of honor. Ready for some strange and intriguing cooking facts? Let's plunge into the peculiar waters of culinary history. Did you know there's actually a term for the fear of vegetables? It's called lacanophobia. Now that's one way to get out of eating your greens. Talking about food preferences, while the thought of munching on bugs might make many of us squirm, entomophagy, or eating bugs, is a common practice globally. They're prized for their high protein content, appealing crunchiness, and distinct taste. And speaking of strange recipes, the oldest known soup recipe, dating back to around 6000 BC, calls for a unique blend of sparrow and hippopotamus meat. Can you imagine that on a modern menu? Lastly, let's travel back to 17th century Europe, where professional chefs in wealthy households often worked in undergarments, or even naked, due to the intense heat of the kitchens. Cooking is indeed full of surprises, isn't it? Now let's take a look at some deadly delicacies and massive meals. Imagine a dish so dangerous that if improperly cooked, it can be lethal. This is not a scene from a horror movie, but the reality of the pufferfish, or fugu. This fish carries a toxin nearly 1,200 times more fatal than cyanide. On a lighter note, consider cod milt, a delicacy enjoyed worldwide. If you're wondering, milt is a polite term for fish sperm. It might sound strange, but for many, it's a treat to be savored. And speaking of treats, let's talk size. The largest item ever found on a menu is the stuffed camel. Picture a whole camel filled with lambs, chickens, eggs, and more. It's a feast beyond imagination. So whether it's a potentially deadly delicacy or a meal fit for a giant, cooking certainly has its extremes. From the dangerous to the downright bizarre, let's delve further into the world of culinary curiosities and food fables. Casu marzu, a maggot-filled cheese, a potato, the first vegetable grown in space, astronauts forbidden from eating bread, ancient honey, still edible after millennia. From peculiar cheese to cosmic veggies and timeless sweets, food is surprising. Thank you for joining us on this culinary adventure. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay curious, stay hungry, and as always, stay safe. Until next time.